Well, today is a day to celebrate. And when I say celebrate, I'm talking about a 1969 Mustang that's been here for a little over 6 years. Now, we've been working on this car off and on, and I'll tell you what, I'm about ready to see the damn thing go myself. Beautiful restoration. It started out as a paint job, ended up as being an on-frame concourse restoration, motor transmission rebuild, complete brake lines, fuel lines, electrical, the whole fucking 9 yards. And all I was supposed to do is paint it. Speaking of painting, that's about the stage we're at after 6 long years of dicking around with it. Let's go ahead and check it out and see how it's coming out.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So if we go in the paint booth, we can see that I got all the door jambs painted. This is that 1969 factory OEM candy apple red. And the way that I'm going to paint this car is I am actually going to bolt all the body parts onto the car before I paint it. So what I did is I went ahead and painted all the jambs and got everything prepped and ready before we painted it on. Or should I say put it on, I'm sorry. I painted it already. But you can see all the jambs are painted, and you can see the overspray that's overriding everything. That's because I haven't sanded the outside of the fenders yet. I haven't sanded the outside of the doors. I haven't sanded the outside of the car. The only thing that we've prepped up over here is where everything is going to be sanded. Now, this gets a piece of chrome on it. This gets a metal chrome trim right here. So we went ahead and painted that, all right? And then what I'll do is I can use that for a tape line when I come back, just like that, to cover the inside of the fender well. If we look at the inside of the fender well, we can see that it's pretty much basically bare metal under there. Before I put the fenders on, what I'll do is I will undercoat those with 3M undercoating to make sure that they are high quality, rubberized undercoated, and give it that concourse restoration look that we're going for. And then if we come over to the car, we've been fine-tuning our door jambs. You can see where many of the body shop girls been filling in pinholes right here. We're really trying to get a really nice, good job on this thing. Even in this area where you don't even see anything, you aren't even going to see this. We're really doing the fine detail touches to it. We had to replace both of these quarter panels on this car. This was a major destruction here. Both inner fender wells and quarter panels have been replaced. I'm sorry, the outside of the fender well has been replaced. The inner ones were okay. The outers were in very bad shape. So I had to replace both of those and replace both full quarter panels. Aftermarket quarter panels, let's talk about those. We're talking about how they don't fit worth a shit. We're talking about that it's too small and it gives a bigger gap at the door jamb. That's why you're looking at it right here, and it shows that there's not really any lip right there, and then it comes down here and shows there is a lip. That's because there's a lot of fucking Bondo right there filled in. Not that that's made out of Bondo. This isn't made out of Bondo, but we had to fill this thing in to compensate. So this is a situation that says this is why I'm painting it when it's all together, all right? Because if I get to the point here that when I paint it and all these body parts don't line up, let me show you an example over here. If we look down on that right-hand hinge, I'm gonna zoom on in there and see if I can get to it. You can see that there's a bolt missing. The reason the bolt's missing is because those are aftermarket parts. Those are aftermarket hinges that don't line up with the factory holes. So the only thing holding that on is 2 bolts, all right? I believe that's only 2. Yeah, there's 3 bolts in there. So 2 bolts are holding it. And what I gotta do is once I get the hood off, I have to, there we go right there, I have to go ahead and modify that so we can get a bolt in it. Another thing is that the hood itself is an aftermarket hood. This is an aftermarket hood. And what we had to do is compensate for that because of this fucking hinge situation over here. So what I did is I went ahead, before I take the hood off, you can see where I drilled a small hole right here, and then I went right through the hood with it. You can see it back there. That's going to give me a nice pilot hole where I can line the hinge back up with the hood before I bolt it all on. And then if you look right here, as we do the cowling, we're going to come around the cowling and we're going to go down to this inner fender box situation. That's black epoxy primer. Now we'll never see this. This is all going to be hidden. But I'm going to go ahead and tape it off right here at this situation. And then you can't tell, but this is actually very nice quality, high gloss paint. It's just filthy dirty from working on it, and you can see that right here in the front. So once we clean all that off, it will be nice. But we're going to take it from that line right there where everything bolts together, and then we're going to go ahead and paint all that red. And then you can see how nice it looks in here and detailed being black. So basically what we're in the middle of doing here is we're fine-tuning this door jamb right here. We had some situations over on this jamb. Minnie the body shop girl was working on that the other day. You can see what we're using is we're using 80 grit, 180 grit right here, and then we're going to use 320 grit to finalize it up. She's been taking her polyester filler, filling up all the pinholes and finding all the imperfections before we paint all that. We're going to go ahead and paint all the jambs all the way around. We're going to go ahead and paint this section here. We'll go ahead and paint the window jamb right here. That'll give me a nice good base where I'll be able to tape off the windows. And then we'll paint all of this area in here, right in this area. Now, you're looking at the bumper and you're saying, why is the bumper on the car? Let me tell you why the bumper's on the car. Because right here on this quarter panel, there should be a hole right here. There should be a square hole here, which is not there, and that's for our marker light. That's another situation you have when you get these aftermarket fucking body parts from Taiwan, and I don't give a shit what the package says. And here's a good example of that. If you look at this right here, this is our hood scoop, our dummy hood scoop that goes on the 69 Mach 1. And I want you to look at the fucking name we got here. That's Dynacorn. Now, Dynacorn is known in the industry as being one of the top-notch quality fucking replacement part people for Mustangs. Bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, because let me show you. This is, if you look, you can see that this box is bigger. This box is bigger than the item. And what happened is it came in this box right here. This box was actually inside that box, and I want you to look at what it says right here. That's right, made in Taiwan. All right, everything that you get for these Mustangs, unless it says Ford factory certified, is made in Taiwan at one of two factories. Don't believe everything you hear. These are cheap, inexpensive parts. There's nothing high quality about them, but that you have to modify and make everything work. So don't be fooled by a fucking name, because all that is a name that has LLC after it, which means Limited Liability Corporation, meaning that if this piece doesn't fit properly and it's not going to work, you can't sue them. Might as well throw it in the trash and start over. So remember that. And then if we look over here, you can see that we got the deck lid is painted on the backside. Really came out nice for all the damage that was done to this. We actually had rats that were living up inside these pockets right here. They were completely full of rat shit, rat piss, and packing that the rats were living in, and it was rotted and rusted along this edge. Very, very extensive repair on that, because I didn't want to buy an aftermarket deck lid. This is a good example right here that if you have the factory original deck lids or body parts, try to use them, and don't rely on this shit right here to get the job done for you, because it's not going to work like the factory parts do. As we sit here and look at our Mustang, the next thing that we need to do to this thing is we need to paint the hood black on the bottom side. This is the factory finish from Taiwan. That's right, this is a Taiwan piece. This isn't made in America, and we can look at the sticker right here, and I'm sure it says somewhere on there, made in Taiwan. Yeah, okay. So we can go ahead and take the hood off and go ahead and paint it black today, or we can keep on working on our door jambs and everything that we need to paint on it to bolt our car back together. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish the jambs up and then get it all ready to paint. We're going to clean the car out really, really good. We want to make sure that all that dust and trash is out of there. You can see that we've been working on it for a long time. The last thing I actually did to this car before I started working on the jambs and block set and all the primer is we went ahead and welded up 100, I think it was 246 holes. I don't remember what it was some outrageous number, but if you look right here, you can see all the holes that I welded up. I've welded up tons of holes. Now that hole there that you're looking at, that hole belongs there, okay? Something goes in that hole, so that hole stays there. But everything else you look at all these holes here that I welded up. And I welded them up all over the car and the floor. The reason why is because some numbnut decided to pop rivet the carpet down on the floor instead of glue it. Very fucking smart and idiotically, stupidly performed, I might say, that I've never seen that in my life, where somebody pop rivets the carpet to the fucking floor. But there's always a first for everything. And if we look up here, we can see that the headliner is still installed. Now what I'll do with the headliner is I'll cut all that loose stuff off and I'll leave the headliner in the car. The reason I'm going to do that is because it's very important when you do these headliners on these old cars that have this style of headliner that the bows that are on the headliner go in the exact same place. So we'll just go ahead and cut that extra headliner material off, leaving the 3 bows that you see inside the car, and then when the headliner guy comes over to do the headliner, he'll know exactly where everything goes. You can see right here where we have been working extensively on the wiring. Now this wire harness is a high-tech wire harness. It's an aftermarket wire harness that is designed for late model Y2K application, but it actually has all of the plugs and fittings for all of the original parts that go into the car. So very nice wire harness. Check out the wire harness video that I made on this. You're going to be astonished. And we also decided to go ahead and put in, if we can see inside there, I don't know if you can see that from the glare, but in-dash AC and heat as well. So yeah, very nice car that it's going to be. We got power steering on this car. We got everything that you could put on this car except tilt steering, which she did not want to do. She wanted to keep the factory steering column and leave it all factory original. So this is going to be a beautiful car when it's done. But like I said, today is a special day because we're actually excited after 6 years of putting paint on it. Talking about paint, I had to replace all these hinge pins and bushings on these hinges. I want you to look real close here. You see that the hinges are still on the vehicle. Do not ever take the hinges off the car unless you necessarily have to. All right, that's a very important issue, because if you ruin that factory setting where those hinges go, it will take you many, many man hours to line the fender and the door back up properly and to get your door lined up into the opening. So always remove your door at the hinge, and make sure to never remove the hinges off of the vehicle unless it's absolutely necessary to do so. I replaced these hinge pins just like you see on the vehicle, and I did not remove them off of the car. So there you go. So that's just a quick update on our 69 Mach 1 Mustang that we're doing over here, and I'm going to say that it's a beautiful car. I am going to be kind of jealous that I don't own the car myself. And the situation that we have with my friend Pete and SWRC, Southwest Rod and Custom, is that when I work on a vehicle, all right, I do it in a way that it is compatible to what I would want done. All right, I don't slop shit around, and I don't cut corners. I do it exactly how I want it, and I focus on throwing myself into the job like as if I own the vehicle myself. Even though this car's been here 6 years, I have been very excited and very uprising to work on it, because I want to see the finished product and I want to be proud of what I've done, and that is what it's all about when you're working on this type of stuff, is to have that pride inside of you that when you're working on somebody else's stuff, you're performing the work that it was just your own vehicle instead of theirs. Very important tech tip right there. That's one of the most important tech tips when it comes to restoring somebody else's vehicle or whatever you're working on. It could be a dresser that you're refinishing, or possibly putting a toilet in and the customer's upstairs flushing the toilet as you're putting the toilet in on the first floor. Not fucking good sight, but you know, you still got to take pride in what you do and hopefully get past the hard parts such as these quarter panels and move forward. We're going to go ahead and get this in the paint booth. I'm going to go ahead and get these jambs finished. I got about an hour and a half left on those. Then we got to clean the car out immaculately. We got to tape it off just like we were painting the car. I'm going to have to go ahead and tape all these door jambs off. Okay, I'm going to have to tape the windows off so we don't get dirt and trash out of here onto this, even though this isn't going to be seen. Once again, I'm going to tell you again, you want to take pride in what you do and do it just like as if it was your car. Because once again, if you go ahead and don't tape all this off, and even though this is the Jamb and you won't even see that 99.9% of the time, what's going to happen, you're going to get overspray down inside here where all this is already painted black and looks like brand new. So always have pride in everything you do, and yeah, you know the story. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. We're working on the 69 Mustang on a Sunday and hopefully getting it done and busting nuts and saying, you know what, I ain't getting a reach around on this job, because the only reach around I'm getting is the reach around I'm giving myself to make sure that it's fucking done right.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.